Be poor. If you follow the Bible to make money, you'll be poor all your life. That's why the poorest people are in church.
You are welcome to Dig It Dewan. If you are new to this channel, you can help me grow by subscribing and liking.
There is a harmony to all of Scripture. There are no contradictions. The contradictions only exist in the figment of men's imagination that lacks clarification and understanding. So when there seems to be contradictions, they are only in the mind of the reader, not in the Bible. So where there seems to be a contention on a subject matter, key things that ought to be decided or delivered are: number one, is this subject matter written in the books of the Bible? We don't waste our time on fables. Somebody is asking me, where did Cain find his wife to marry? That's not the subject matter of the Bible. Anywhere he found his wife, he found wife and he married. The Bible is not a chronology of marriages. It's the message of Christ. So such issues are irrelevant in the scheme of Bible study. So the intent of the Bible is to unveil God's redemptive plan. God's redemptive plan. How God in his mercy stepped into the mess of man and fixed the mess of man by the sacrifice of his son. That's the message of the Bible. The Bible is not a book for material wealth. No, you don't use the Bible to teach money making. No, it is a poor material for money making. Very poor. If you follow the Bible to make money, you'll be poor all your life. That's why the poorest people are in church.
Did you just hear what he said? So it's time for us to cross-check to see what he is saying is the truth. Let me let you understand that I'm not saying everything that he is saying here is false. Neither am I saying everything he's saying here is the truth. But we are cross-checking, examining to see if that is the total truth, because the total truth is what we are all after. First, we heard him saying that if you follow the Bible to make money, you will be poor forever in your life. Wait, is that true? Oh, that statement could be true and false at the same time, depending on how you end that statement or your understanding on that statement. First, if you say that following the Bible principle ignorantly to make money in your life, you will be poor the rest of your life. That is true. What if you say following the biblical principle accurately, you will never be poor the rest of your life? That is true.
There is no connection between theology and economics. They are not connected in any way. That's why when you went to economics class, they didn't use Bible as a textbook. And those of you who did CRK, they never use economics book as CRK. Each of them is in their line. And when you specialize in economics or accounting, no Bible is considered, because it is not a material for wealth creation. Bible is a material for the eternity of men. How man and God relates, makes peace, and lives in harmony on earth to guarantee eternity.
Now, it is true, because the Bible contains so many principles in building a happy home, a business, a nation, and any other thing. So it is not only about eternity. That book is not only about our spiritual life, but also deals with our physical life. As a matter of fact, it is the book that the Creator himself gave to mankind. So why wouldn't the manufacturer of the universe give his plan how to make these things work in the same book he gave to mankind? That is why in Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse number 18 it says that, "But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth." He giveth thee power to get wealth. So it is not only about the spiritual being of humanity, but it teaches humanity how to make wealth if you follow the principles given in that book. Well, that is the truth, but not the absolute truth. The Bible is far beyond eternity. That is the book that God gave to mankind. In addition to the conscience and wisdom he gave man, he also gave man this book to help him both spiritually and physically. That was the reason from Genesis he said that be fruitful and multiply. Be fruitful. Even God himself believed in the law of multiplication and fruitfulness. And the Bible talks about sowing and reaping. And these are seasons that will never go away. All these are principles in the scripture.
That's what the Bible offers. I'm teaching good. The Bible doesn't teach anybody to make money. All the rich people in the Bible use secular means to make money. From Abraham died. Abraham was a shrewd, wicked businessman. He was an oppressor. And a very smart one at that. When he discovered he was broke, he used his wife as collateral to bring money. and men that fell for the beauty of his wife paid dearly.
Wait, how true is this statement that he is making? Abraham being a businessman but a secular one, making his riches out of dubious ways, very wicked one. Well, I have not seen that yet. Maybe you know any place in the scripture that talks about it, you can let me know. But as long as the scriptures is concerned, let's see what it talks about. By the way, there is nothing like a secular way of making money and the spiritual way of making money, or the gospel way of making money. They are all principles. That is why from the beginning I told you that it's a book that contains so many principles, and the God himself we serve is a principle God. He laid down all those principles in his book. Either an unbeliever or a believer, whoever follows those principles, it works for him. So there is nothing like a secular way of making money. And then what is the other way of making money? I want to know. Because what I was taught is the wrong way of making money and the good way of making money. These are the only ways of making money that I know. A wrong way, you know that already, is that robbing someone to take what belongs to him. And then, that is the wrong way. How about the good way? The good way is what is legally accepted. Genesis 12:4-5. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Aram. Genesis 12:10-16. And there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, Behold, now I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they would kill me, but they would save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, that thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abraham was come into Egypt, the Egyptians behold the woman, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her, and commended her before Pharaoh, and the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abraham well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen, and he ass, and men servant, and maid servant, and she asses, and camels. So in our reading from Genesis chapter 12, we saw Abraham already having his wealth, already a rich man, until there was a famine in that town, and he said, let me move on to Egypt. And then when he was going to Egypt, you and I saw that his goal was not to take money from the Egyptians, but his goal was to save his life. He said, wife, you are very beautiful. We are aware of that. But so that my life will be spared for your sake, let us assume that you are my sister indeed. Yes, you are my sister. Let's keep it that way, that my life will be spared. And then that was what Abraham did. His motive was never to get wealth from that. Why am I saying his motive was not to get wealth from that? Let's see that from the book of Genesis, chapter 14, verse 21. Genesis 14:21. And the king of Sodom said unto Abraham, Give me the persons, and take the goods to thyself. And Abraham said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up my hands unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread, even to a shoe lashes, and that I will not take anything that is thine, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abraham rich, save only that which thy young men have eaten, and the portions of the men which went with me, Anel, Eshcol, and Mamre. Let them take their portion.
Somebody was telling me somewhere, but Solomon prayed after giving God 1,000 burnt offerings, and in that night God said to Solo, what do you want? Solo said, I want wisdom. God said, I will not only give you wisdom, I will give you money. That's what you read in the Old Testament. Think with me. Solomon was a king. No king was broke.
Hello guys, think with me. Solomon is a king and no king is broke. That is true. So we are thinking together. If Solomon was a king and no king is broke, then where did Solomon had his wealth from? Probably from David, who was also a king. Now when God called David a shepherd boy whose the family never respected, was he already rich? Was he already a wealthy man? The answer is no. So how did David become rich to the point that he left his royalty for his son David to take, for his son Solomon to take over? Think with me, guys. We are still thinking just as he told us to think. So you realize that Solomon had his kingship, royalty or wealth from his father. And this guy didn't have any war to battle because his father David has already fought most of the battle for him. So his glory lies in the glory of his father who was obedient, who walked with God. So what is he talking about? Can someone explain to me?
Solomon doesn't need to give God offering for God to make him wealthy. By his natural office, he was wealthy. Remember, all the wealth of David was kept for Solomon. He wasn't a broke man looking for money, so he didn't need to offer offerings to make wealth. He was already wealthy, and Solomon was very wicked. He oppressed poor people, oppressed them with taxes, serious taxes, and collected and collected. That's why when his children came, they said, our fathers use smaller measures. We will flog you with scorpions, because they learned the tricks from their father on how to make wealth.
Yeah, truth. Solomon indeed was a wicked guy. That's true, because that was the advice given to him by the elders. Your father did it this way, but well, you should do it the other way. It is true he oppressed the people, but do think his wealth was from the people. You know, and you have heard of the Queen of Sheba who came to visit David and said, I have heard of your wisdom and have seen it for myself. It is far beyond what they were saying. He came for the sake of the wisdom that same God gave him from the beginning, which he said, if you follow me, if you follow my instruction, but if you don't follow, I will take you off that seat. This guy is still following the principle of his maker, and his wisdom still expanded.
Not from God. See, I hear you. Why do we come to church? To encounter eternal realities. Every other thing you can get out. The only thing you cannot get outside are eternal realities. Why? That is why God has set pastors to feed you with eternal realities, so you arrive at a place of fulfillment. See, in the secular you can succeed, but you're not fulfilled.
You know, guys, I'm trying my best to really understand what the secular he's been using here means. You know, I'm still trying my best. Yeah, it is the truth that you can be very wealthy but yet not fulfilled. That is an absolute truth, and there is no doubt about that one. Is an absolute truth, all right? But the truth is here, both the one we call secular and the one we don't call secular, that is both those in the church and those outside the church, they have one maker, believe it or not, and then every one of them has a fulfillment. The same one, someone can be in the church yet not fulfilled. So fulfillment comes in realizing the purpose of your nature for your life in the existence of this earth. I believe you understand what I'm saying. So it doesn't matter whether you are in a church, you can still be in a church yet not fulfilled. And someone can also be outside the church yet be fulfilled. What is it? The assignment of life on earth. Assignment was not only given to unbelievers or believers. Assignment was given to any man that has breath. So guys, let us look at the man he said very wicked, and then who did not prosper because he followed the principles given to him. Let's look at some of the wisdom he gave to us if we want to succeed or if we want to be rich. He gave us some of the procedures. Let's see them. Proverbs 6:6-11. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provided her meat in the summer, and gathered her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travelleth, and thy want as an armed man. Proverbs 21:17. He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine and oil shall not be rich. Proverbs 18:16. A man's gift makes room for him, and bringeth him before great men.